Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now, and please hit that bell notification so you get notified of every time I go live, like now, or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like the content, if you find it useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form. Welcome to another episode. Tonight I'm going to be discussing why staying connected is a must, both in friendships and asexual relationships. So stay tuned for that. If you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this awesome book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com, the founder of Asexualise Academy, and I'm also the author of this awesome fibromyalgia self-help handbook, how to manage fibromyalgia to have less pain, more energy and feel happier. And the techniques I show in this book are relevant to all the world, just that some are more relevant to those just with fibromyalgia. But if you want to change your mindset, if you want to have a much more positive outlook on life, if you want to decrease your anxiety and free yourself of depression, it's all in here as your I just literally give you the antidotes to all those type of things, which is very much needed in the world right now. So go and watch this, well, go and have a look at it on Amazon, and go and buy it. It's really, really good. It'll help you a lot. And Amazon give you your money back if you're not happy with anything, but you will learn a ton of stuff, so I think you'll be happy. Anyway, let's get on with tonight's show. So staying connected, why is a must, both in friendships and asexual relationships? It's a must because let's take friendships specifically at the moment, right? There's a lot of social isolation in the world, and you have like 5 ways to well-being. I used to be a peer trainer for the recovery learning community as part of the NHS in the UK, and one of the 5 ways to well-being, so one of the 5 ways of actually being healthy, as in general well-being, is to stay connected. And what this means is you literally stay in communication with other people. So it's very vital in the time at the moment we're in with social isolation, where a lot of asexuals are particularly feeling more isolated than ever. So a lot of asexuals do tend to be introverted, right? But a lot also have mental health difficulties. And if any of them have got autism, which is quite a significant proportion, they are used to doing things in routines and having things that, that happen in their life every single week, day in, day out, and they don't like change. They don't like upset routines. So obviously with the social isolation, they can't have their routines like they always do, because, we have to, as a world, change what we're doing whether we like it or not, and that is very, very difficult for some people with mental health difficulties and autism, right? And also other people with special needs and disabilities as well. It's very, very important to understand this. So it's important to stay connected to everyone anyway, but it's even more vitally important if you've got anyone who suffers depression, anxiety, that type of thing, because obviously with the media at the moment, with everything, like the media is designed to instill fear in you, to make you watch it more, so it keeps you on a knife edge, and to keep you like just basically gawking at the screen. Just don't do it, please. If you want to save your sanity, if you want to reduce your fear and worry and stress, stop watching the news. It's not going to do you any good. We know what's happening out there with the situation. If you've really got to look at it, you should just be looking at like an article or something just for a couple of minutes. That's it. You don't need to be looking at the news. Scrolling through how many people are no longer here in life anymore is not going to help you. Scrolling through how many casualties we've got is not going to help you. Do you know what I mean? It's not. What needs to happen is you focus on positivity within your own life as much as possible. Now, obviously, some people are gonna struggle with doing this more than others, right? I come from a place where I've got loads of training of the mind since 2012, and I overcame depression. I've got, I've been through extensive training of the mind, retraining. So my brain is reprogrammed for being able to deal with these type of situations calmly, because I don't watch the news usually, right? And I try not to watch it now. I think I read one article today, which was to do with the post office, because I wanted to know if I can still post things out to people. So I did read that, and it did have Boris Johnson's video, and I watched a little bit of it. I think it's one I already saw. And I talked to my mum, who gave me an update anyway on what's happening, as she does, bless her. But you know, so my mum's has to isolate, even though, you know, she has to isolate because she's a high risk category. So I can't see my mum for at least 3 months. So sending love to my mum, because my dad watches this show. So sending love to dad, my angel. I can't even see my guinea pig for 3 months. Never mind. Anyway, so yeah, so it's vitally important that we stay connected, and that we, you know, if we are of a more strong mind, like obviously I've retrained my brain to be much more stronger in these type of scenarios. For example, I went into the supermarket today, and the lady behind the till, she goes, "Oh, how's your book going?" Right? Because I talk to people about my books that I do, and obviously Asexual Guide to Sex is something I'm working on for asexuals. I had to put a hold on that temporarily to get 2 courses done that I've had to do for a new business I'm launching, which I got a lot of the products already created for before I started creating the Asexual Meet and Mastery course. It took me 6 months to create, that was going to be officially launched soon. So yeah, so I've had to like kind of hang fire on the book, which I've, you know, and switch to these courses because they're time limited, and I need these skills for the new business I'm going into. Don't worry, I'm still doing stuff for asexuals, but a new business I'm going to. Plus, I've got 2 other businesses to do this year. So I've got 3 new businesses I've got to launch, as well as doing all the asexual stuff I do, as well as publishing the Asexual Guide to Sex book. So anyway. So she was asking me in the supermarket, she was saying to me like, "Oh, how's it going with everything?" I said, "Oh, it's good. It's really good. I'm really busy." And she's going, "Oh, I was going to say about procrastination. Like, you're not procrastinating then?" I said, "No, I'm really busy. I'm so busy. I'm busy doing, you know, like I said, I've got the business launch. I'm doing 2 courses. I've got the book I'm still working on it, but I had to like stop it for a little bit. But yeah, actually today I've been working on the Asexual Guide to Sex book of it because one of the interviewees, who's having a chapter dedicated to their own personal story, which is pretty amazing, very exciting. They said that they can work on their story now because they've got the time more. So I had to rearrange, because when this person's done first and second questions, so some people in the book have done 1 set of questions, some people have done 2 sets of questions, which is much more in depth to help people with more asexual, you know, guidance and help on, you know, it's basically giving advice on sex and help, and, you know, like more in-depth advice for asexuals on how to have sex, and, you know, the boundaries and assertiveness, all this type of thing. So it's really essential. Their story is very, very important to the book, and their story is evolving. Has been evolving, so we haven't done an update for a while. And so yeah, I spent a lot of like the last couple of hours like going through their story, putting the first and second questions together, amalgamating them together in the format for the book. Thank you for the thumbs up, lots of love. And so yes, formatting them for the book, so that, you know, I've just done it off literally. That's why I was late coming on this show tonight, because I was eating my food, because I forgot to turn the oven on, which doesn't really help, and 2 is I was sending the email to them. So yeah, so the Asexual Guide to Sex I'm really, really happy with. So I've done some more work on it tonight, which was unexpected. But they're going to get on with editing and updating everything, so it's been important. So yeah, but I wasn't expecting that. Hi Ralph, hi Sandro, finished blowing things up. That sounds very naughty, Ralph. I know what you mean, but I haven't been on Facebook because I've been busy connecting with people, which is what I'm going to talk about more in this video, and busy working on my Asexual Guide to Sex book. So I've been offline. Well, I'm always I'm always kind of online, but I'm offline, if you know what I mean. I haven't been actively participating online, should I say, because I've just been so busy today, as you know. So yeah, going back to connecting. So obviously I said about the person in the supermarket, I said, yeah, well, the world's in chaos, I'm there like, you know, busy. I said that's the thing when you've got an online business, when you do work from home already, that you know, you're just busy now if you've got the right online business. You know what I mean? It's like an author, being a writer. This, you know, you can be in this type of economy and still be a writer and still, like, you know, put books out there, because people are at home a lot more, they want to read. So, you know, it's kind of a like recession proof business, really. Do you know what I mean? Being a writer, and I just love it so much anyway, you know, it's really good. So So when I was talking about connection, it's really important you stay connected to your friend, because Ray's one of the people I connected with today. So today I've literally, well, yesterday now, because we've just gone past midnight. Yeah, I was connecting with loads of friends. So it's really important, like I was explaining, that some people, like myself, for example, I've trained my brain to be calm in these situations, to not watch the news, to not live in fear, to not panic, to be calm, because I have to be, because I have got fibromyalgia, which I mentioned at the beginning of this video. It's very essential for my immune system that I stay as calm as possible and least stressed as possible. If I don't, then it will activate my, it will lower the immune system. And this is true for everyone, though. This is true. So if you want to protect yourself and have a better chance of not getting really ill, I'm not saying you're not going to get the virus, but you lessen the chance of it, or being able to cope with it, is if you boost your immune system up, or if you maintain your immune system and don't let it go lower. I mean, people with fibro, they've got lower immune system anyway. It's an autoimmune condition. So I have to be aware of that. But you know what I mean? So you've got to, but one of the ways is like making sure you don't get too stressed. Now, sometimes I do get really stressed, but I don't want more stress of the outside world getting on top. Do you know what I mean? So it's very, very important that, you maintain a very balanced and calm state as much as possible. And the world might be in chaos, but you've got to make sure your inner world isn't in chaos as well, because two chaoses just evolve into an eruption. Like Ray's blowing things up. So happy birthday to Ray, which has just gone over midnight. So it was Ray's birthday yesterday. But so in terms of staying connected to your friends, like I was saying, some people have mental health problems, disability. Some people really struggle at this time, and quite a lot of asexuals do, because quite a lot of them are isolated as it is. And then this builds another form of isolation on top, and I'm used to, although I'm an extrovert, I'm used to spending like sometimes 3 weeks with only going out to the shops to get food. So I'm kind of used to this type of lifestyle anyway. I'm used to just getting not, busy doing my work online. It's kind of like not really changed that much personally for me, right? Obviously, I know it's dramatic for the world, and obviously, even though I say that I'm good at, managing things, obviously, it is a little bit unsettling. I'd be, but I'm settled within myself. I'm good within myself, and I've got so much to do that I'm too busy to worry about what everything else is going on in the world, which you want to make sure that you're not worried about everything else in the world. You focus on staying centered, staying strong, and connecting with your friends is very important. So if at the moment you're at a loss, you're at home, you're not working at the moment, you're self-isolating, or you're just like really not got people to see because you can't go out, right? The best thing to do is to connect with your friends, to connect with your family, to connect with your loved ones, right? Now, connection is twofold. There's different types of connection, right? You can connect on a sort of, acquaintance basis. So in our life, we get different types of relationships, right? We have to understand this. You have friendships, acquaintances, people you come across in business, even online, people you don't even know that are strangers. And then you have friends, good friends, and really close friends, really best friends. So you have a whole load of different friendships going on. Now, depending on what type of person you're connecting with and what type of person you are, the connection you have with them is going to be different, right? So if I have an acquaintance, right, someone I don't really know, say they've just gone on my Facebook, friended me, maybe I've got a couple of friends in common or something, right? That's an acquaintance. I've not got to know them. I don't know anything about them. Right, this is obviously an opportunity to get to know these type of people if you want to, but as an acquaintance, you can't expect to have the same type of connection with an acquaintance as you would do a good friend. It's not that same level, and it's okay to have different types of friends. It's okay to have friends you just talk to a little bit, and ones you spend a whole lot more time with. This is the normal society way it goes. Not everyone has close friends. Now, I know if you're asexual, especially if you're an aromantic asexual, someone who lacks romantic attraction, but really you really needs friends. I know a lot of aromantics, they tend to need a lot of friends around them, because they don't, not all aromantics, because some aromantic asexuals still get involved in being in a relationship. But a lot of aromantics, they tend to really to be like kind of in packs of friends, you know, have the community of friends around them at all times. So obviously this is going to be even more difficult for those type of people that are used to spending a lot of time with each other, like maybe around each other's houses, like 4 or 5 days a week. Do you know what I mean? So it can be quite difficult, you know. So you know, if you've got nothing to do at home, make it your full-time job. Make it your full-time job to go and find friends on forums and groups, but go through your friends list, you know, because just because they haven't reached out to you doesn't mean to say you can't reach out to them. You know, people have different personalities. Some people are outgoing, outspoken. Other people don't want to message first. And a lot of asexuals, you know, especially if you're looking to date or be in an asexual relationship, a lot of asexuals on dating sites, for example, because they're introvert, they don't want to make the first move. Obviously, you know, if you're introverted, you can still make the first move. And I think it's something you should practice. I think while we're in this situation, it's very important to stay connected. And if you are an introvert watching this, or you're feeling very socially isolated, you know, make that time to specifically go and talk to people, but don't expect everyone's going to be the same, right? I don't expect that every single person I talk to or message or come across in life is going to like me. I don't expect that. I know some people won't like me. I'm very, very outspoken, very blunt sometimes, and a lot of people can't handle it. They'd rather me tell them some fantasy story that isn't true just because their mind can handle it better and it's what they want to hear, you know? But I don't do that. It doesn't mean to say I don't say what people want to hear, because I will say it if I believe it, and I believe it's true, and I know it's true from my experience. Do you know what I mean? So, but, you know, it's very important we understand that rejection will happen, where it's friendship rejection, acquaintance rejection, some families reject their, you know, offspring, and you know, it all depends on the individuals involved, you know. So don't think that just because some connections are like, you know, where you're talking to the people like multiple times a week, and another connection you might speak like once a fortnight or once a month, don't think, you know, that it's something's weird about that. It is normal. Ray and Tundra, they're no one like me could be a thing. Ha. Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very unique in my personality. So, you know, I don't expect everyone to be like me. I think for me personally, throughout my life, you know, I have quite a lot of online friends, but I only have like really good friends I could count on my hands. Ones that I speak to a lot, you know what I mean? I that's quite normal, really, to have throughout your life, to have really good few quality friends, because it's quality over quantity for me. But I know some asexuals, they love a quantity of friends. They love a lot of friends, you know. It's particularly aromantic asexuals I find do more, because they're not invested in a romantic relationship, which tends to take a lot of time up, I think. So yeah, so but you know, staying connected is very important in social isolation time. So, you know, there are going to be people out there that are going to need your help. So if you're a stronger person, please step up to the plate and make those connections with people, you know, and talk to people and message them. And if they message you back, then you respond to their message. This is how it works. It's two-way communication, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. If you're not sure how to speak to someone, first of all, then, you know, check out their profile. You know, they've got a dog or cat on it. Say, oh, I like your dog. You know, I like the dog in the picture. Is it your dog? Is it your cat? You know, pick something out of their profile to get a conversation. You know, I have run asexual groups, so I can't stress enough how the people in the group should be communicating with each other more. You know, they should be, you know, writing posts together and speaking to each other and talking about hobbies and interests and getting conversations going. You know, it's very important. There is no one like me either. Hi, Sam. Quality is much better than quantity in people. Hi, Sam. Nice to see you. Yeah, quality is much better than quantity in people. And this is what I'm trying to get across. Like, I know in my life there'll probably be only, like, well, at the moment, certainly, there's a handful of people that are really good quality friends. And I think that is very typical, you know, of a lot of people, to have like just a handful of quality people throughout their time, you know, in life. Because, and that's okay. We shouldn't like think that, you know, that say, you know, we shouldn't think that sometimes acquaintances aren't valid, you know, even if we don't carry on talking to them, because I think everything happens for a reason in life. So there might be an acquaintance you meet that might lead you on to talking to someone else, or might lead you to thinking something else and going down a different path in your life, which you would never have gone down before. So I think everything happens for a reason. Do you know what I mean? Like everything. And maybe you don't know the reason right now, you know. And I watch a lot of law of attraction videos, and they say that the package of what you're trying to seek is not always basically dressed up as you might appear. So, for example, you might go for a date with a guy, and the date might be terrible with the guy, but the waiter might be someone who you fancy, who fancies you back, and then you start dating the waiter. So you do find a person that's interesting you, but it's not the person you originally thought. So that's what the law of attraction guy says, and I really agree with that. And the more people we connect with, the more we can find out different things about ourselves, about life, you know. So some people will just be acquaintances in life. They won't be close friends. Some people will be people, strangers that you meet once in your life that go out of your life. Some people will be like, just, you know, like maybe people come into your life for a short time and go out of it. There's all these different types of connections. But the point is, it's important to stay connected, and especially to the ones we care about the most. Like today, yesterday now, I spoke to Sam on the phone, who's my best friend. I spoke to Ray, who's a good friend, on the phone because it's Ray's birthday. And I also spoke to my best friend, who's not asexual, female, Debbie. I haven't spoke to her for ages, and it's her birthday on Sunday, so we're going to video chat again. So I literally haven't seen her or spoke to her for a long time. So it was so good to see her. And I know she's got me really special birthday presents, which I'm on my birthday on the 24th of April. I'm going to be doing a live streaming opening my birthday presents. I asked her if it's okay to open them because I don't know what they are. She said that's fine. So that's nice. Yeah. So I've already got them from her because she posted them in plenty of time, and she's got the one from me as well, two from me, together as one. So yeah, so that's really good. Ray, Tundra took your advice. He's staying in tonight. He. That's good. Yeah, give me Tundra. I'll set Tundra straight. I was thinking, I bet if I was there, Tundra would be in all the time. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because Ray's got an assist dog, and Ray's dog I didn't realise is outside, and I'm like, I thought an assist dog is meant to be with you all the time to assist you in case you fall over or have an accident. That's the point of an assist dog. That's what I thought. So I was a bit shocked that Tundra wasn't inside, and plus all the photographs I've previously seen are Tundra inside, so I didn't know otherwise. But yeah, I'm glad Tundra's in there with you. I do get, you know, you have to make sure you keep safe, and that's what Tundra does, doesn't he? So yeah, it's important to stay connected to loved ones, friends, and family. So literally, most of my a large proportion of my day today, well, yesterday now, was spent catching up with friends, and I'm catching up with another friend much later today. Sam, I have several upcoming virtual meetups to take part in over the next few weeks. New for me, but giving it a go as at least I can meet some new people. Yes, Sam, I'm glad you brought that up actually, because it's something I was going to bring up, but I completely forgot. So I'm glad you said that. Yeah. So it's very important, like for the asexual community, particularly as a lot of asexuals feel isolated at this time, to have like different virtual meetups instead of just in-person meetups. So one of the people in my country in the UK has set up 2 regular each week. I'm gonna be having virtual meetup myself, which I'd already said about before the person contacted me, but the person that contacted me is going to be doing meetups every week, twice a week. So, but I am very, very busy at the moment. You know, I'm glad the other person's doing them, so that some people that I know, like Sam and Ray and other people I know, can actually go. I mean, obviously some virtual meetups are limited to a number of attendees they can have. So if you know, like some can't fit that many on the call. But I'm going to be having a virtual meetup as well this month in April. I'm not specifically sure. It's I don't know whether to have one on my birthday or the day after, because I was going to have one on the day after my birthday. Because for my birthday, I want to eat popcorn and watch 3 movies that I've bought myself all day. And I want to do other stuff, like go out in the morning, go outside and just like sit down outside, you know, maybe get some sugar-free ice cream or something on my own. But do you know what I mean? I just want to fill my day up with a birthday. I just like treat myself to a birthday day. But I wouldn't mind a short meetup as well on the same day. But I want to make sure I watch all my films and I just don't do any work. Do you know what I mean? Of course, I'll have to do my present unboxing that day on my birthday. So I will still be on the stream, but it'll probably be really early. Well, I don't know. It might be after my walk. I don't know. But it might be really early when I first get up. I don't know. I'll see how the day pans out. It'll be good. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. So but yeah, virtual meetups are very, very important. So I'll be deciding after my course is finished or in the next week or whatever to do about that. But yeah, so virtual meetups, if you can get on one, if you can go to one, highly recommend you try it. In a lot of virtual meetups, you can choose to have just audio only, or sometimes you can do video as well, but usually it's limited. So for there's different things you can do if you want to hold a virtual meetup. You've got Google Hangouts, Skype or Zoom are usually the main three. I know there's an unofficial Avon Discord group. So you know, but these different platforms, some of them you can only have a limited amount of people on the video, you know, and you might get a lot of people that want to be on the video, or if a lot of people are introverted, which a lot of them tend to be, a lot of them don't want to be on camera, so it might end up being audio chat. But you know, you have to work that out, and obviously it has to be a time when lots of people can be together if you're in multiple different countries. Like the person in the UK, for example, I've just told UK people so far because they wanted me to just because they do a regular meetup group, so it's for their specific regular meetup group plus other people if they want to attend, you know, that live, because they can't take too many people on in their specific meetup. They're doing 2 a week, so obviously, you know, whoever doesn't get on the one of them can get on the other one, which is really good. But you know, I would love to do a massive virtual meetup, but there you go. You can't, you know, you've got to be sensible, really. And people sometimes drop off at different times, but I think it's worth it. You know, if you are scared about going on camera, then just do audio to start off with and just listen in, even if you don't want to say anything. Because I think it should just help hearing someone's voice, you know. And like I said, one of the 5 ways to well-being is staying connected. This means like connection, like to people, of family, friends, loved ones, you know, and staying connected to yourself, which I haven't really talked about. So in terms of relationships, you know, if you're in a relationship with a loved one, you know, as opposed to a friendship or queer platonic relationship, say you're in a romantic relationship, but in any relationship type of thing, or, you know, even queer platonic, it's very essential that you stay connected to that person, that you communicate more than ever whilst you're away from each other, if you're isolated away from each other and stuff like that. It's very essential. But also one of the most important things too about connection, which most people don't talk about, staying connected. When people say connected, stay connected as your 5 ways to well-being, in general they mean stay connected to other people, socialize, go out, which we can't do at the moment, so you have to online socialize, which, you know, that's the benefit of social media at the moment. It's actually bringing people together from all over the world, and it can actually help people to stop being social isolated, but it might require you getting out of your comfort zone like Sam is doing. So it is, I realize it's difficult, but you just have to understand that in life we sometimes do have to adapt and change. We do have to, you know, these things happen, and it is survival of the fittest, you know, and that doesn't necessarily mean fittest in body. It means fittest as in being able to survive. And I know both Ray, Sam and me, for example, and quite a lot of other asexuals, if you're watching this, and even if you're not asexual, probably some of the entrepreneurs might be watching as well, because I know I'm connected to a lot of entrepreneurs. You know, you've probably been some real rubbish things in your life, you know. And it's the people that have had a lot of rubbish in their life, you know, that have been through trauma, upset and pain, that are ones more prepared for this type of environment. Because if you're someone who's just gone along having a hunky-dory life and not really worrying about much, when something like this happens, you can't cope usually because you've not got those coping skills. For some people who've been through traumatic experiences, who've come through it, who've survived and thrived and flourished and made it, you know, we are the ones that can cope better with this outside world situation, because we're used to dealing with chaotic situation. We're used to dealing with pain. We're used to dealing with fear. We're used to dealing with it. We've coped. We've got through it. We've survived, you know. So it's really, really important to stay connected to yourself and your truth, right? it's very essential. And like I said, 5 ways to well-being. Staying connected usually means connected to other people, but it is very highly important you stay connected to yourself. You stay connected to who you really truly are. So this means that don't, like if you're in a supermarket, for example, and your nature is kind and giving, don't go around fighting and try and pull toilet rolls off other people, that type of thing, because that's not really being your true nature, is it? Do you know what I mean? And, if you are being true to yourself as well and honest with yourself, you need to care for yourself and love yourself. You need to be filling your cup up at the moment. Stop putting fear in your mind of all what may happen, because if you keep thinking like that, it's going to draw that to you. Just think, no, that's the outside world. I'm in my own little world. Ray, my kids watched me on Messenger blowing things up. They said I was nuts. I didn't see you blowing things up, Ray. Just a disclaimer, please, at home, do not blow things up and hurt yourself. It's not recommended. Ray's an adult, apparently, doing controlled experiments, shall we say. But yes, it's not recommended to blow things up because it's dangerous. And if things like go off on a whim, it can hurt someone. So you shouldn't really blow things up. It's highly not recommended. And if you do, it shouldn't be anything that's like, gunpowderish or anything like bombish or anything like that. So I have to say, I do not recommend blowing things up, just to put that straight. And Ray was talking about blowing a Coke can up earlier. But again, that's not something you should really be doing as a practice, unless you want the neighbours to complain and lock you up or something. So I'm being serious, though. You shouldn't really do that. I can't advise to do that. I know what Ray's talking about, blowing up cans, but I mean, it's not the average person that should go around doing that. And, you've got to be careful not to hurt anyone and everything. I know where Ray lives and everything, so it's more out in the countryside. But do you know what I mean? I just, but yeah, so best to obviously stay connected to yourself, not just stay connected to other people. So it's two ways. So you must stay connected to other people. You must spend more time with people who love, care, and like you and appreciate you, because that'll make you feel better. But also, do get out of your comfort zone. If you see someone struggling, then, reach out to them on social media, in private messaging, if you're in some groups, post who's feeling isolated at the moment and go and chat with them, give your time to them if you've got time and stuff like this. Some of you are sat at home now, you've got tons of time on your hands, you don't know what to do with it. Go out and speak to other people, reach out, don't just think no one's speaking to me, but that's because sometimes you need to make the first move and talk to them, and you need to keep conversation going 2 ways as well. It's very, very, very important, but it's super important to stay connected to yourself. Because, if you're disconnected to yourself, if you don't understand yourself and who you are, your likes, wants, needs, it gives power to the outside world. It takes your power away from you, if you understand what I mean. And once your power is going away from you, it's not healthy. Again, it's disrupting your immune system. It's like pulling your wall of shelter within yourself, pulling your wall of bricks, pulling your stability away from you. So it's very, very important you stay connected to your soul and being. Now, for example, something I usually do is go and self-date at the cinema. I can't do that at the moment because, I'm not, the cinemas aren't open. So that, if I want some me time, I probably have to go and take some time out to watch a movie by myself. Sometimes I just have to switch social media off completely because I am on it a lot usually. And I just need a couple of hours out for myself doing whatever. But I mean, tonight I have been working like just before I came on this stream, I have been working on my Asexual Guide to Sex book today and tonight, and it was unexpected, but it's just really, 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 really good, because when I do writing, I feel connected to my soul, because writing is my ultimate life purpose. I know that it's just like part of who I am. And so when I start writing again, anything to do with the book, I just feel elated and happy. And and the reason I did that, like I explained, is because one of the interviewees, they're ready to carry on with their story now, or they got time. But that meant me doing a little bit of grammar, spelling, and going through all their story and mixing, putting it all together. And the format will be in the books. It wasn't in the complete format originally, so it's looking really good. I've sent that off to them now, and so I was really excited to spend a good couple of hours kind of looking through that and reading it, and I'm really excited for the book. So it is definitely going to be out. I don't know if it'll be out on the 1st of June in the ebook format, which I really wanted it to be, because I've had to go and do this course. But the course that the 2 courses I'm doing is going to be good skills that I need this year for all the 3 new businesses I'm launching. So it's really, really imperative that I do it. And also even some of the asexual stuff I do, like the course I've got, the Asexual Meter Mastery. When I launch that, it's going to have a proper page, and this course shows you how to do like sales page layouts and stuff like that. So that helps the customer, the person buying, helps to see something better in a clearer layout, so it's easier to understand. So I think it's very important that you stay connected to your soul, and your soul is is to do with your passions and your hobbies and interests and what makes you feel alive. So it's important to stay connected with those things, those passions, those hobbies and interests. Now obviously it might be that your passion, hobby and interest which you can't do at the moment. It may be like sport, where you need to do group activity and be around things. Obviously there is things like virtual football, and you can play video games online and stuff like that. So you've just got to kind of take your in-person world to the online world as much as possible, but try new things. Maybe your life needs to go in a new direction. Maybe you were used to mountaineering or something before, or you were used to like quad biking, or used to something that's involved, you used to be in groups all the time, and you haven't actually been on your own for a very long time, and you don't know how to cope very easily on your own. Maybe this is the time that you need to take time out to find out how to cope on your own. So instead of saying, I can't cope on my own, find out, well, what would make it better? Ask for different questions, like what would make it better for me to be on my own? What can I do that would make me happier right now on my own? What can I do to fill my own cup up? What would make me really joyous now? What can I do to help myself? Like, how can I be a best friend to myself? How can I make myself happy? How can I take good care of me? How can I smile in the mirror and know that I'm doing a good job looking after me? These times at the moment are the times that try your own patience with yourself, because you are in isolation more. So you're having to deal with yourself more. You're having to, be around yourself more. So I think something that's very underlooked is the relationship and connection you have with yourself. Because if you're disconnected from yourself, you're not going to have good, healthy, happy relationships usually with other people anyway. They'll be based on falsities, on niceties, not true grit and the real true bare you. Do you know what I mean? And that can be very disconcerting, because then like kind of friendships are based on a lie, and they're not kind of based on truth and integrity, and you kind of like may not like yourself so much if you're living that type of life, because there's quite a lot of people in the world that's not living an authentic life. And then when they spend time by themselves, they can't stand it, because they know they're not really being true. Subconsciously, they know they're not really being true to themselves. And so therefore, that's why they don't like themselves in their life sometimes, because they're not really being true to who they are. They're forcing down their own personality. They're forcing down who they are, probably to some extent because they're worried about what society thinks. But you just don't worry about what society thinks. If we were worried about society right now, and we're just focusing everything that is going out there and just constantly focusing it day in, day out, what do you think our brain's going to do? Be scrambled, I tell you. You're going to go insane if you keep watching the news. Stop watching the news. Go and do other things. You don't need to watch the news. The thing is we're programmed from a very early age to think we need the news. That if we don't watch the news, something terrible is going to happen. Well, guess what? Terrible things are happening, and the news is on all the time. It doesn't stop it happening. Do you know what I mean? And the more we think about terrible things happening, the more likely they are to happen to people we don't want them to happen to, like ourselves, for example, because we're too busy thinking about that. So we have to distract our mind. We have to actually feel comfortable in our own life, comfortable in ourselves, and actually, reconnect with our soul and being. Maybe there's some indoor activities that you haven't done for years. Maybe it's painting and drawing. You forgot that you're good at it. And all of a sudden you just start producing these really big works of arts, and you can sell paintings online and stuff. Do you know what I mean? There's Etsy, even Amazon now has hearts and love. I can't even say arts and crafts section. I was going to say hearts and crafts because I'm feeling in a loving mood at the moment. Ray and Tundra, try archery or something new. Try something you've never done before. Yes, Ray, I totally agree with you. Obviously, if they haven't got a safe place to do archery and they can't go to a club at the moment, they can't do archery. Do you know what I mean? Because I mean, most people go to a club, you do it on your own, I know. So if you've got and you've got your own garden, like I don't have my own garden. There's a garden that comes with the house, but it's not mine. I'm not allowed to go in it. I just walk through it. So do you know what I mean? I'm not allowed to stay in there and do anything. I don't pay for that. It's not in with my rent. So that's it. And at the moment, I definitely can't stay in it because it's not mine and it's other people's. So, but Ray, I totally agree with is try something new that you've never done before. It's really, really important, and I can't stress enough just the point, that communication and connection is really key. Connection and communication do go together. And what I was saying was, that when we're a kid, we are programmed to watch the news usually, and it's instilled from your young age that you need to watch the news, and if you don't, you won't know what's going on in the world. But you don't always need to know what's going on in every part of the world. It's not your job to know that. You don't need to know it. All you need to know is what's happening right here and now with you, and that yes, we've got to be aware of the situation. I don't mean to be completely ignorant to it. I mean to, but not to focus on it and not pay, loads of attention. Just get the bare things that you need. Right, we need to spend 2 meters apart, take 2 meters apart from each other, wash your hands, all the other things. You can go on the government websites for these type of things. You don't need to sit through all these news articles that are just like, a lot of them are scare. They're just designed to instill fear in you and brainwash you and mind manipulate you. And if you start looking at too many articles, you'll notice they start contradicting themselves as well. So I even saw a headline flick up today about China has faked the numbers of deaths and people who got it and stuff like that. I mean, is that true? Is it not true? I mean, this is just a headline. Again, a lot of newspapers want to sensationalize things. I didn't even bother reading it. I thought I just got to stop reading. I don't want to go there because it's like, it'll be 1 minute it's this theory, the next minute it's that theory. I think eventually probably some truth might come out about why we've got the situation. But like my mum says, they're opening the markets up in China now, because my mum watches the news. I don't know if that's true. I haven't watched it. So like, if they open up the markets, how can it actually be started by the bat and the snake that was in the market in the first place? But you know what I mean? Sam, I haven't watched the news since I was about 16. I check updates online once or twice a day, but that's it. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. The more I stay off it, the more happier I am in and of myself. I've had such a busy day today. You know what I mean? I've just been non-stop. I spoke to my parents as well. So I've stayed connected to them. So literally I spoke to, Sam, who's in the chat, Ray's in the chat, Debbie, who's not in the chat. It's my best female friend, my parents, my mum, dad's always in the background usually. And then I've been to like 3 shops today and spoke to the cashier on the till point. So it's important as well, if you're going into a shop, be kind to people, give them a smile. Some people give you really strange weird looks like, how dare you talk to me in this type of situation. Other people would just be glad that there's another human being talking to them because they've been isolated for so long. So, some people are just going out to do their shopping. That's all the people they see. They don't have kids. They might not even be married or have a partner. And they just like, that's the only people they ever see going to the supermarket. Do you know what I mean? So like when I'm at the cashier with the cashier, she's asking how I am. I'm, asking usually how they are and stuff like that. Sam, my mum mentioned it to me earlier. When she messaged me, I just told her I wasn't going to talk about it and spoke about something else. Yeah, it's really, really good. It's really, really good, Sam. I mean, my mum didn't talk. My mum talked a bit about it. Well, my mum did talk about it today, but not. It's probably in not such a bad way. The lady who served me at Tesco today was really nice and friendly. That's really good, Sam. That's really good. Yeah, I think it's really important. I mean, the Aldi girl, she's really friendly as well. I know her. I go in there regularly, so she's so lovely. She was asking about my book. She remembered I was doing another asexual book, I think. It's really funny. So I was in the queue talking about my next asexual book. And obviously people who are in the queue don't really know that asexual means I lack sexual attraction. they think it means I'm a highly sexual person usually. So when you're stood in a supermarket queue, you go, oh yeah, I'm writing my second book for asexuals now. Just think of what the people in the queue must think. Do I care? No, never. I just get on with my life and promote asexuality. Woohoo. Yeah, so but she's really nice as well. It's really it makes it so much better. Like I heard the people behind me, the next customers, say to the girl behind the till who was friendly to me, she always is, that oh, they went in one store and they were really bad service. The person was, not in a very bad mood with them and not very friendly at all. And so yeah, it just goes to show, like have some compassion when you go into stores, and you see people, have some compassion, smile, say, I mean, there was a woman, I was in the queue with my trolley today, and there was a woman behind me, and, I could tell she was in good spirits. She had kind of a smile on her face, and she was like, we're all hanging out here with our shopping trolleys and stuff. Because I said, oh, I just need, because she got a trolley, and then other people started getting them and went out the queue to get it. Like, so you're already prepared because you're waiting outside the store for your turn and you're behind the marker. And she was like, and the woman, I was like, oh, I'm just going to get a trolley. She goes, oh, yeah, that's fine. I'll still be here. We're not going anywhere, are we? Or something. And so it's quite funny. So I went and got a trolley. And then there was a couple of people that had already gone in front. Not her. She'd waited for me to come out with my trolley. But there was a couple of spaces and in front I moved up. So, yeah, but she was in good spirits. She was just kind of chilling and stuff. So I think it's really important. And obviously it's nice to say hello to the staff. You just got to remember, because it's very difficult to sometimes remember your 2 meters, especially when you're used to actually just going up and speaking to them. You've got to be consciously doing it all the time. So in a way, you're learning conscious awareness skills, how to be consciously aware of something. Because I believe there's positive things in everything. And you learn this skill of, well, there's loads of skills we're learning right now, isn't there? I mean, there's the skill of compassion, which hopefully some of us are practicing and learning or doing. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very important. There's the skill of being compassionate to other people and helping other people and giving help to other people. There's skills of coming together. There's skills of actually, getting out of your comfort zone like Sam is, or trying different things like Ray says. These are all developing you and growing you, and it's times when you get into these situations you don't expect that grow and develop you the most in your life. Because if you just go along and everything's hunky-dory, it's not challenging you, it's not developing you, it's not growing you, it's just on the same flatline level, really, your life. Do you know what I mean? It's not building character in you. This type of stuff builds character in you, and it gives you a lot of life skills. And when you have to be really consciously aware of people to a certain extent, that other people are around you, whereas me, I'm usually in my own little world most of the time anyway. I can block a lot of people out, but obviously when I'm in this type of situation, I do have to look up more and make sure that I'm not going around people. But I like it. I like standing back for people and letting them go first or something. I just feel helpful and useful doing that. So when I'm going around the supermarket, it's like when I was at Boots Pharmacy today, because I've still got pelvic problems. I went to get some more medication, which they're out of stock. But there was a woman, and I told her she could go in front of me. She was actually deaf, I think, and she's like, "Oh no, you were first." I said, "No, it's fine. You can go in front of me because I'm not in a rush. I live just around the corner from the place." So I have to rush back home or whatever. I'm chilled out anyway. She was an older person, and I'm just like, go ahead, And I just like doing that. You can still make someone's day, even in these world dire circumstance. It's only dire if you just think about everything being dire. There's a lot of love still out there in the world. There's a lot of caringness. There's still a lot of positivity. There's still thousands of people that have that are alive right now. There's thousands of people that have recovered from the virus. There's thousands of people that most likely haven't got it, or some people can be carried for it and just don't know, but there's thousands of people that's still okay right now. So we've got to look on the positive, and we've got to remain focused on being as helpful, friendly, caring as we can, and also don't neglect yourself. That's why I mean stay connected to your heart and your soul. I worry that some people are just being in their homes and they're just not eating. That's my greatest fear, that people are starving themselves in their own home because they can't go out. And yes, the government said don't go out, but they said you can go out for essentials like food and medicine. In the UK, they're still saying, you can go out for food and medicine. You have to go out for food. Obviously, if you've got the virus, it's very difficult because you really need to self-isolate and keep yourself protected from other people. But I don't want to hear someone saying they're starved to death. Do you know what I mean? make sure you reach out and connect with organizations that can help. Write on your Facebook if you really, if you're absolutely starving, got no food in your cupboard. Find out people who can help you. Go to organizations, family, friends, people. Do anything you can, to help yourself as much as possible, because there'll be a lot of people in homes that people don't even know that isolated or shut off or haven't got food, unless they've got friends, because some people don't have many friends, or some people, friends are no longer with them, they've moved away, they don't keep in contact, right? So it's very important that you're aware of this, and it's very important that if you're at home in a place where you're not getting out, you've got no food or whatever, or you're low on food, that you do reach out to people and get the help you need. Get people to do your shopping for you, and post it off to you, or, take it to you, this type of thing, I don't want some people, I know some asexuals that are introvert and they're like, I don't want to bother anyone. And it's like, well, it's not a case of bother, it's a case of staying alive. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, just do it. You know what I mean? Just, if you want to live, which presumably you do, then just do it. Just don't think about it, just do it. Sometimes we have to just do things without thinking about it, you know what I mean? But obviously, like I said, we are gaining some conscious awareness skills, because obviously when you're in supermarket, you have to be aware of people around you in terms of which aisle they're going in, where your marker is, all this type of thing. But I kind of like having less people in, because I mean, even, when you're waiting in queues, you have to think that when you're going in the stores, there actually is less people physically in the store. So it's kind of like nice. You're kind of like, it's kind of like a maze sometimes, because it's like, it's like road traffic, isn't it? It's like you're driving a shopping trolley and you're driving it in traffic, and you've got to stop at this stop at that stop at that stop, go there, go there. Like, I love doing the crab dance. Have you tried the crab dance? It's where the aisle's a bit small, and so you go on your side and you start doing like a crab down the aisle. You see, you can try all these things. Be creative, be creative. I mean, sometimes I'm going to go down one aisle and then there's like someone coming the other way really near me. I'm like, can't go there. I have to stop or backtrack or go the other way. So it's a bit like a car game. Do you know what I mean? You just have to have fun with these things. You can't go around being, I know the situation is not great, but you can't, being miserable about it is not going to change it. That's what I'm saying. Be as happy as you possibly be jolly, and, raise your spirits high. And why am I saying this? I'm saying it because it's better for your health. It's better for your well-being, right? Because I want you to stay alive, and, being depressed and miserable and, and thinking bad and things and stuff is not going to help your well-being. It's just going to make you worse and more likely to get the virus that you don't want, you know what I mean? Because your immune system's lower. So, it's better to try and protect yourself as much as possible, and keep your vibrations high, keep, being connected to yourself and others. Ray, I like the looks I get when people see Tundra in Tesco, laugh out loud. Oh yeah, because yeah, that's funny. Ray's got an assist dog, so Ray needs to have their dog going in supermarkets with them. So this has to happen. So I think it's really good if you do think of it as fun, because if you don't, my parents usually, when they do go shopping, normally my mum's in isolation at the moment, but because she's high risk, then when my parents, they just like to go in the shop and get out of it again. I actually chill out when I'm doing food shopping. It's really weird. I don't like cooking, don't like cleaning, don't like housework, but I actually do like food shopping. I just relax and chill out usually. So I'm kind of in a relaxed mood anyway when I go food shopping, because it's just like, when I'm at home, I'm usually working all the time. I'm usually busy doing something all the time. So when I go around the supermarket, I'm just chilling. I'm just sailing along with my shopping trolley, chilling. Do you know what I mean? And I love food. I do enjoy food. And when I get the food I love, I was like, I got some nice food now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It just makes me feel good. And so I'm really chilled. I don't think that's quite normal for most people, but but because I'm chilled anyway, it's kind of like, well, I'm staying positive at home. I make it a nice experience. So if you've got if you don't normally find shopping a good experience, try to think how you can make it a good experience for yourself. I think, it's all about engaging with your mind and creating ways that you've never done before, thinking outside the box, thinking differently about things, seeing things differently, because if I go around the supermarket and I feel like I'm being helpful to people, like moving out their way, maneuvering around them, maybe saying hello, maybe you're giving a smile to them, to cheer them up. And, and I'm just in my power zone. You get, when you do stuff like this, you're in a powerful position because you're coming from a place of fulfillment within yourself, not a place of lack. Do you know what I mean? So if you're like miserable, upset, in pain, you're going round, it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's kind of like drawing your energy away from you. Whereas if you go into the supermarket thinking, oh, who can I make smile today? Who can I actually, they've got me in the aisle with them, and I'll be polite and I will literally be 2 meters away from them. I'm glad they've got me in the aisle with them today, because if they had someone else right now, they might not be as considerate. Do you know what I mean? So it's all about looking at the positive things in life. It's all about, changing your perception of things to what you usually do. I don't think I usually used to be like this. I mean, years ago, I couldn't even be in any groups whatsoever. Like, obviously I usually hold asexual meetups now, but I've changed a lot in my life, and I don't know if I've always liked shopping or if it's just something that I've grown to like over the years and enjoy, because I usually go late at night actually, and so it's quieter then anyway and it's chilled out. So I think for me, going when it's got less customers in the store, like now, because obviously they're restricting the amount of people that go into the store, for me, it's kind of like more of a normal nightly shopping experience for me, because there's like not so many people in the store. Usually there's less when I go, and I'm like one of 4 people or something, because I'm like in the last half hour or the last 10 minutes even. And it's like I rush in and the staff, like I'm the last one to leave the store, and the staff have got all their coats on ready to go pretty much, and they're just waiting for me to get out the door. So I kind of feel like I'm part of the staff a lot of the time in Aldi, because literally that's what I do most of the time. I'm like going across I live not far from the Aldi store, and I just go across the road sometimes at like 10 to 10 when they usually shut. They're starting at 8 at the moment. And it's like the people are like, I just zoom around picking up everything I need to get, because I get busy at home. I get writing and stuff, and I'm like, I can't go out yet. Then I'm having my shower like 9 o'clock at night, and then I'm busy going out. Like, quick across the road. So I'm kind of used to that type of thing anyway. Less people in the store and stuff like that. But I like food shopping. I don't like cooking, but I enjoy food shopping. I just think it's fun. I quite chilled with this because I really relax. I find it really relaxing, but I find the tubes in London relaxing when most people don't. So I'm kind of strange. I'm backwards, which I love. So yeah, I think it's important to enjoy being you and being different. It's really, really important. But yeah, the connection is really important in these times, and I think it's important to like reach out to people that we haven't maybe even spoken to for a long time. This is your chance to like, think about the people that you haven't spoke to for ages that maybe you lost in contact with, or maybe maybe it's someone you've really been interested in romantically. You've never had the guts to say it to them. You need to actually say it to them. Because what have you got to lose at the end of the day? Do you know what I mean? There isn't anything to lose. You just go for it. That's what I say. It's quite interesting the other day when I was in a sexual dating group in Facebook, and even the sexuals were saying, like, they were saying that, if you're over 40, this was one person's opinion, if you're over 40, you should be traveling to be in a relationship with someone. You should be prepared to move, because you're unlikely to find that person that's right for you in your city. And I've said loads with asexuals, but you're mostly with asexuality, you're mostly going to have to travel or move for a relationship, because the chances of the right person being in your city where you live is very, very remote. It's not impossible. It occasionally happens, but usually you have to move. One person has to move. Do you know what I mean? So it's very, very important. But it was interesting to see that sexuals in sexual dating groups still have some of the same issues that we do, even though they're like heteronormative, because you would have thought, because everyone loves sex so much, the majority of people in the world, not everyone, not asexuals, but although some asexuals might be fine with it. But, when I say everyone, as in the majority of people in the world like sex, you might think it's easy for sexuals to get into relationships, but it's still difficult for them too. Ray, I did. The person said she likes younger. Ha ha. Oh, bless you, Ray. You're talking about me, aren't you? I know you are. You told me. Oh, thank you. Sam, I'm more than happy to travel and or eventually move within the UK. Yeah, it's really good. And now's the time to obviously make those connections online when you've got more time and an ability to speak to people as well. So if there's anyone that's, that you thought, I really like them and I haven't told them yet, find out if they're single and go and tell them. Why not? Because they might like you back. You don't know. They might like you back. So don't be shy about it. Go into conversation. Be like me, a bulldog. Like, I like you, blah blah blah. But no, you just need to get out of your comfort zone. Now's the time, people. Now's the time, because I think times like this should make people think more about, although we don't want to be thinking about death as in death, we should be thinking life and death as in what would we like to do before we die? Like, what's all the positive things that we can do? Do you know what I mean? What's the things we haven't done in our life yet? So you should use this as a time of reflection for staying alive and what you want to do, because you'll regret it if you don't when that time does come for you later on in your life, not now. I think it's very important to do that. Write a list out. Like I said, you can be planning your future right now and what you're going to do, but also remember to take action. Where's the places you want to travel to? Where's that person that you want to spend the rest of your life with? Where's the hobbies or interests that you haven't wanted, you wanted to do for ages, but you haven't actually done? Now's the time to be thinking about what you actually want to do with your life and what you want to change about it. It's very, very, very important. Like I said, stay connected to yourself, not just other people. So, I was going to say more about connection and communication. So connection and communication basically go hand in hand. So whenever you're trying to connect with someone online, right, you need to be improving your communication skills. Now, this is a time to practice. So some people might say, oh, I'm no good at communicating. I can't speak to people online. The only way anyone in the world gets good at doing something is through practice. This means you have to try and actually do it. That's the only way you get good at anything, whatever it is in life. You only get good at it by practice, by doing the thing that you fear in the first place and then practicing it until you're not fearful of it anymore. So some people can't speak on stage, for example, but they really want to do that type of life. They want to have that lifestyle, or entrepreneur lifestyle, but maybe they, scared about speaking, because a lot of entrepreneurs are actually introverted, which I didn't realize. So a couple of years ago, I found that very shocking, probably more than a couple of years ago, actually, but I did find it very shocking. But, so introverts, by and large, aren't used to going out naturally and speaking in front of everyone on stage. But if you want to have that type of life and lifestyle, you've then got to go and do that, do the thing you're scared of and practice it, because that's the only way you get better at it. Like Sam is trying virtual meetups that they haven't done before. So they will get better at that. Ray is awesome at archery, but if Ray hadn't tried archery in the first place and hadn't given it a go, they wouldn't be excellent at it now. Do you know what I mean? It takes practice. So the people that say I can't do something, I do appreciate where you're coming from, but of course you can't do it because you haven't tried it and done it and practiced it. Like, a lot of asexuals, they haven't had any relationships. Does that mean to say I can't have a relationship because I haven't had one before, if you're a person who says that? No, because you only get good at relationships by being in them and having one if you want. Obviously, you don't have to be in a relationship. I'm saying that if you long for a relationship, you think, well, I've never had one before, so I can't have one because I haven't had one. The way you get good at relationships is by practicing them. The thing you have to remember is you might not end up in the relationship long term with a person that you first meet. I didn't realize this. I'm kind of traditional, moonlight roses. The first guy I come across, fall madly in love, he'll be wonderful towards me and live happily ever after. And sadly, that fairy tale didn't happen over and over again. So now my advice would be, although you might want to be with the person that you come across for the rest of your life, the first one you ever end up in a relationship with, you might very well not be with them, and don't expect that, that's going to happen and be disappointed, right? I mean, I'd like it to happen for you if you want that, but, I would say go with a lower expectation. And, if you do try sex and it's not for you, don't stay with the person just because you love them or just because you think you should stay with them. I made that mistake years ago. I thought I should you know, stay in a relationship with a guy because I thought it's kind of wrong or bad to then be with someone else, even though the person wasn't treating me very well. Because that's where I've been kind of conditioned, you know, the romantic fantasy that you meet someone for the first time, you spend the rest of your life with them. And I, you know, I don't like giving someone my body, which I did back then, and then like not being with them anymore. It seems wrong. It seems like bad. It seems like even I was bad or something, which, you know, it's because of the way the society brings you up, some societies or parts of society, or the way you've been brought up, you know. And you know, like some people don't believe in sex before marriage, which is obviously a personal choice. But I would always say to try sex before marriage, because if you don't not sexually compatible, then you know you're gonna be tied to that person for life unless you get divorced. I'm sure you don't want to be going through all that stuff. It's better to find these things out sooner rather than later. Do you know what I mean? Um, but also there's a thing that, you know, you could end up staying with them because like if you do like have a sexual partner and they treat you badly, but your religion or your family background dictates that you shouldn't get divorced because it's really bad for religious or really bad because you had sex with them, you know, then you know it can lead to a lot of being in an abusive relationship. You don't want that. So you want to take a sensible logic approach to it, you know, and you really communication is key though. If you're going to have a successful relationship with anyone, you should be able to talk to that person about anything and everything. If you can't talk to that person about anything and everything, if you're fearful in some way that they're going to leave you, if you're, I mean, obviously there might be a little bit of fear there if you've had someone leave you in the past, or, you know, there might be some issues you have to work through. But if you're like, you know, if the person's being secretive, if the person's not being openly communicative, if every time you bring up a serious topic they can't deal with it or handle it, that's not the right person for you to be in a relationship with. Certainly not at the moment, because they need to sort their life out. You can't be in a relationship with someone who's not openly communicating with you. When you connect with someone, when you've got a connection in terms of a relationship or friendship, it's a two-way thing. You know, it's give and take. It's like expressing yourself and feeling safe enough to express the true version of you, even though you might not always be thinking or agreeing on the same thing. It's having the ability to be able to do that. Now, if you're with someone in a relationship or think about getting in a relationship with someone, and like 1 minute you're saying something, the next minute they've disappeared off the face of the planet, and then they might come back 3 days later, that's not the type of person you want. You don't want someone to go just because you said something that they don't agree with, or that they're not listening, or that they're too scared, you know, of. You know, you want a person who will admit their problems, their issues, who will be like open and honest. And so connection and communication go together. The more you're openly communicating with someone, usually the better the connection, because it's direct. You know, it's like a direct line. The more that you are not communicating, the more disconnected you are with the person. And you'll feel that disconnect. You know, maybe you're putting up barriers or walls with them, but it's not going to help you long term. It's just going to cause issues. You're never going to have that true soulmate friendship where you can just like literally go straight to the heart of the person and feel them entirely. Do you know what I mean? In their being. And that's what you need for true love, which is in a healthy relationship, you know? You shouldn't be worried about whether they're going to be there or not. I mean, there's a lot of types of people out there, though, that are those types of people. You know, so you've got to be very careful of who you choose to be friends with and who you choose to have relationships with if you're polyamorous, you know? Like I said, I just have a really select few people that are close friends, best friends, Sam. And, you know, it's very important that, you know, I'm quite aware of, I know some other people as well. I mean, there's people that come on this channel. There's like Heather. She's a really lovely person. She's like an online friend, you know? Michaela, she's really nice as well. So you know, there are people that I know online, but I don't speak to them regularly apart from on here, you know. So it's like, you know, they're on my friends list on Facebook, but to be honest, I don't have time to speak to every single one of my friends list, you know. That's why I do this channel. Do you know what I mean? So because I can't get around everyone. Like even today, like I think I spent a large proportion of my day today just phoning everyone. But I felt I had a productive day, actually. I felt by doing that, I had a really productive day. I pretty much caught up with everyone apart from Andy, who I'm catching up with later. And then I went to shops and did my food shopping. And I did some of my Asexual Guide to Sex book. So today, it's been a really, really good day for me. Really, really good day because I've got a lot done. So, but yeah, and I sometimes think when you connect with other people as well, it gives you a break as well, kind of from your own life, and it takes you like you can relax more if you've got good friends to talk to. You can relax more. Like I said, if you've got the wrong friends, the wrong relationship, you're not going to relax. You're going to be fearful. You're going to think, oh, I'm just talking to myself here. If you start thinking I'm talking to myself here, they don't care, then just don't bother with them. Because how we are treated in life is how we allow people to treat us. So if we're not getting the correct treatment we deserve, then we need to take our attention and time somewhere else to someone who deserves it, you know? Someone who deserves it. It's like I've had guys in the past that I've been interested in romantically, and I've been given some time to them, which my time's really precious, and they haven't appreciated it. They haven't understood that I've got a lot of stuff that I need to do. And so, you know, at the moment, I'm not actively seeking a relationship because I'm focused on my business. That was always the plan recently. Well, I say recently, a few weeks ago, wasn't it? I'm not actively seeking a relationship, but I'm still on dating sites. I've still got guys talking to me. So yeah, stay connected to your friends, your family, your loved ones, and stay connected to yourself as well. And realize that connection is also communication, because you can't really connect with someone unless you communicate with them. And if you're not good at communicating, this is a time to practice those skills. Like I said, you can only get good at something if you always practice them over and over again. I do worry about a number of asexuals that say that, you know, they find it hard to communicate with people because those people usually don't actually then communicate with many people because they're worried they can't communicate with people. But the only way they get good about communicating with people is to do it. The only way you're going to get good about anything is to do it. To do it. Not run away from it, but to do it. Because otherwise you'll just stay in the same rut year after year after year. You know, it's like a lot of people in my dating groups, you know, the opportunity's there to actually in the dating groups to actually go and post what you're looking for in a relationship. But instead, quite a number are looking outside of the group when they haven't posted what they're looking for in the relationship for a long time in the group. There's loads of people in the group. Do you know what I mean? Why not post in the group you're already in? Why look for external stuff? You look for external stuff as well, but why not post it and take the opportunity? Because people are scared. They're worried. They're frightened. They don't know what to do. But you have to practice. You have to get out of your comfort zone and practice these things. Practice communication. Practice connection. You cannot be good at communicating unless you practice it. It's not something we're innately born with. You know, I'm an only child and I didn't have any brothers or sisters. Until I went to school, I didn't speak to many people. I even spoke to my parents or if I saw some relatives occasionally. Do you know what I mean? My communication skills probably was quite lacking back then. Do you know what I mean? So it's only by practicing these things that I got better at communicating and I was in different situations within job roles and stuff, communicating with different types of people. Communication is a learning curve as well. It's not something that you don't ever stop. I know that I've got to learn other ways of communicating with people, better ways, different ways. I've still got a lot to learn. And when you are a person who likes to develop and grow themselves, you never stop learning. You are always a student as well as a teacher, if you teach other people as well. So make sure that you stay connected to your friends, your family, your loved ones, because social isolation only compounds the outside world fear and stuff, because it preys on the negative, it preys on the loneliness part of you, the fearful part of you. So you need to do the opposite. And you need to connect with people, love people, reach out. But, some people will reject you. And that's just the way it is. It's a reflection of them, or it's just simply you don't click. And that is okay. It's okay. And don't forget to always connect with yourself and make sure you're doing things to light your own cup up. I'm going to leave it there. Ray, I just started doing live videos on Facebook. Never thought I'd be doing that. Oh, yes, Ray, that's really good. So, Ray, I didn't realise... has a speech impediment, and And now Eddie's come on the chat just as I'm going. Eddie, what are you doing to me? You did that the other day as well. But we can chat for a little bit longer. So yeah, Ray said, I just started doing live videos on Facebook. Never thought I'd be doing that. So yeah, so Ray, because of the situation, you know, not going out, decided to start doing live streams, even though they've got a speech impediment. They're really good at doing live streams. Now they're posting in groups and stuff, and getting loads more people interested in what they do. So Eddie, I know how I have known rejection 10k times. All of them were awful people. Hey Eddie, same here. Yeah, so if you're rejected, don't worry about it. Move on to a better person. Someone who won't reject you and love you for who you are. Oh, Mohammed Al-Batri. Hi, I love you. Oh, thank you. Lots of love to you too. Thanks for the thumbs up. Sam, my pal, how are you? I'm good, cheers. Hope you're well. Oh, see, you can connect in a community. Like YouTube is very good as well for growing communities, you know, for being part of a community. You know, so when you start like going on a stream like this, you've got live chat where you can see people regularly you might not have seen for a while. So you can do that. And also in comments, if you go on channel a lot, sometimes you can see comments left regularly by certain people, so you can end up replying to their comment. You know, so there's some comments on this channel and then you'll find that someone's replied to someone else's comment, and so you can end up having a virtual conversation in comments on YouTube videos, which is something people don't really think about that much, you know. And like I said, there's asexual dating sites as well, dating groups, all that type of thing. So it's really, really important that you use all these types of processes and types of things that are in place, you know. I mean, you know, like there's so many social medias. There's Twitter, there's LinkedIn, there's Reddit, there's WordPress, you know, there's all these type of things. Like I have blogged for years. I've been blogging 10 years this year on 2 other blogs. Because I have an asexual blog, asexualist.com has got a blog on it, which the link's down below if you want to check that out. But I've got other blogs I've been blogging on for 10 years. I haven't blogged as much lately because I've been busy training for new businesses. But you know, blogging is a really fantastic way of communicating with people and getting more friends. You know, Ray could start a blog about their dog and their dog training, set up a YouTube channel, you see, and put their dog training videos on there, and then embed it in the WordPress site, for example, you know, and then put everything to do with dog training on there and stuff like that. So yeah, you can even sell products and related products on the website as well. So this type of thing, you know, you can be creative, you know, there's loads of things you can be doing. But blogging, yeah, I made some good friends through blogging. I met someone in person through blogging. I was meeting in a public place, by the way, and you should video chat beforehand. But this person was an older lady and she was awesome. And we met up in London and we were talking. It's the first time we met up and we were talking and we're having, I think we had food and drink together. And she was saying things about me. And I was like, well, how do you know this about me? I don't remember saying anything. She goes, I read it on your blog. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So I didn't even think about it. But because I blogged for so long, this person knew so much about me. They were telling me about myself without me speaking it there and then because they'd already read it about me. And I was like, oh yeah, so blogging is very, very good. I mean, it really helps with mental health. I feel blogging does really help my mental health, because in a time when I felt out of control years ago in my life, the blog was like the one thing I could have within my own control. So it gave me a sense of like place, and I was trying to find my writer's voice at the time. I didn't even have anyone following me on blog for like 8 months. I was just waiting for people to follow me, right? I didn't realize with blogging, you have to go on other people's blogs, find other people's blogs in the reader, for example, on WordPress.com, find other people's blogs, comment on theirs to get comments back on yours. It didn't ever enter my head, because I could have read the instructions on how to start a blog and how to do all this stuff, but me being stubborn back then, wanted to learn it all myself without looking at any instructions. So it took me years to learn what other people usually learn, just like that. And I was like, I mean, I was very, very kind of technology illiterate back then. I mean, I was really bad at technology years ago. That's what makes me laugh now. I mean, up till 2012, I wasn't good with technology. I didn't even have social media. Like 2011, when I was made the choice to go on social media, so again, it all takes practice and making those connections yourself. Like on Twitter, I used to really be on Twitter loads years ago. I used to be making lots of connections there. I used to see a post and I just used to start commenting on the post. It was a picture or someone said what they were doing with their day, and I used to end up making friends on there and all sorts. Eddie, and you have someone pop in and do a wall rush joke and leave. Ha ha. So yeah, it's very important to utilize social media. There's a lot of forums in social media as well. So if you are feeling like isolated at the moment and you want to connect with more people, use all these social media platforms. Use YouTube, LinkedIn, Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. In Facebook there is absolutely so many groups for so much. I mean, you could end up being part of 200 groups easily if you really want to. So if you actually got nothing to do, no one to talk to or anything, you can just literally go in groups and just comment or put pictures or just talk to people in the groups. Like, someone said something in the group, then you comment on that, how you relate to it. So this is how you build communication and relationships. Mohammed Abadri. I love making friends from everywhere in the world. This is great. This makes you more open and forgiving. Keep it great. Thank you. Lots of love to you. I like the love heart eyes. Yeah, so it's really, 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 really amazing, to utilize all this social media for the good, Like there's two things, like you can look at the bad side of social media, especially at the moment with everything going on with the news and everything like that. But you can choose in your life what to accept into your life, and you can choose in your life what to not accept. So obviously, if you've got loads of news stuff that's going on that's making you fearful, frightened, don't watch it. Don't give time and attention to it. You have a choice. And this is how you empower yourself in your life, because you have a choice. And once you start to realize you have choices about everything in life, then you can take more control of your life and you can feel better about it. You can choose what social media you're suited to. Like some people will be more suited to Twitter than Facebook. Some people will be more suited to Instagram than Facebook. Some people will be more suited to Skyping than Facebook video messenger, for example. So whatever forms of communication you need for connecting, you can go with that. You can find your favorites, but don't forget you do have to try things out as well in life. Try different forms of connection with people, see what works for you and what doesn't work, just don't carry on doing it, but just try it, give it a go. It's so important in life to just try new things, because you don't know whether you might like it or not. For example, years ago, something I mentioned on here quite a lot is tongue kissing, right? I didn't like tongue kissing like that. Well, the idea of tongue kissing made me feel like, I'm not going to like that. It's kind of like really gross with someone's tongue stuck in your mouth. Why would you like that? I didn't actually think that I would ever like that. And it was only when my last long-term ex started kissing me in that way that I thought, hang on a minute, I really like this, because I got used to it. First of all, I was a bit like, oh, this is a bit kind of weird. The tongue is in my mouth. And then I got really into it, and then I did it back. Again, because I like being in, having some control over what I do. I started to take control of that situation, and I really liked it. Eddie, it's like two plugs in your mouth. What are you talking about, Eddie? Oh, you're talking about the tongue kissing. Oh, I love your smiley, Eddie, with the tongue stuck out. That's so funny. Oh, it's like having two slugs in your mouth. I thought you said two plugs in your mouth. I thought you said two plugs, as in you plug them into each other and intertwine. See, I like kissing. Only me could think about plugs. But I thought actually you're being a bit rude, because obviously you can get butt plugs, can't you? Which is highly sexual. So I thought kind of like two plugs in your mouth might have meant that someone was having sex up the bum with butt plugs, which we won't go into because it's kind of gross. But yeah, so not that I've ever tried that. I didn't even know what a butt plug was until someone mentioned it. And I was doing some research, I think, for my Asexual Guide to Sex book, and I was thinking, what the hell are butt plugs? I didn't even know what they were, because being an asexual person who's not interested in sex and doesn't want to do that ever again in their life. I didn't know what a butt plug was. I had to look it up because obviously my asexual guide to sex, different people have had different sexual experiences. And so I'm like, what on earth is a butt plug? And so I had to Google it. OMG. You are the dirty one in this convo, laugh out loud. Tusk, tusk, naughty mind. I honestly thought that was what you said. But yeah, asexuals can have naughty minds, even though we don't like sex. Some asexuals can talk very naughtily. But I honestly thought that was what it said. 2 slugs in your mouth. See, I like kissing, so I wouldn't have thought of slugs. Because I like tongue kissing nowadays. Do you know what I mean? It was only because I was quite worried about it, and I don't like it if it's sloppy. I like control kissing, so I just take over the whole situation. If the guy's not kissing me how I like, I just like take over his mouth basically, and like, this is how I want it. Kiss me like this, because I don't like the other way. So, because I don't want someone going you know what I mean, just like that. But yeah, so that's the thing though, Eddie. There's a lot of stereotypes with asexuals, that asexuals don't do this, that, and the other, but some asexuals do have naughty minds. Does MySpace still exist? I think the sites, some pages are still in existence, but I don't think it's something people use, as far as I know, because I've seen when I don't think I can go off this screen. Can I? Let's see if I can open another tab while not losing you. If I type MySpace, I think you can still see some of the pages, but I don't think most people go there anymore. I don't know, because I never used it in my life. I'm on MySpace now, and it's got loads of stuff. Our terms have changed. Oh, right, you've got to do this terms and conditions thing. I don't think it'll let you go else. So, yeah, so if you Google MySpace, it comes up with pages, but I don't know if they're that active. Oh, it's got a video on there. So, yeah, but I've never used it in the past. So, I don't know. Let's see what the news is, where it's up-to-date news. It doesn't look very up-to-date news to me, but there you go. Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't really look up-to-date. It hasn't really... Oh, there's one thing about self-isolation and quarantine songs. So, yeah, I guess there's some up-to-date stuff on there. But, yeah, Sam, I'm on loads of social media sites, but I haven't used that in many years. Eddie, finding a MySpace user is like seeing Bigfoot or unicorn. I was asked around 2009. I've never used it in my life. I know there was someone I was checking out online because I was seeing if they're a good person or not, and it looked decidedly dodgy, the photograph. It was a long time ago. So yeah, I don't use it. But I would say, like, use what social media you want to use. Like, I feel very comfortable on YouTube, obviously. I love YouTube. I could just stay on it all day because I just feel really comfortable. I feel like I'm at home here on YouTube. I feel more at home here doing videos than I do usually on Facebook. But, I mean, I get loads of views on Facebook, so I should actually be going more on Facebook and doing videos. But I just like hanging out. I feel like it's my little... well, it's like you're in my lounge with me, but it's my bedroom because I haven't got a lounge. So yeah, but like YouTube, like, we're connecting now, aren't we? I think it's really important. Like, I like the fact that I do live streaming because it means that if someone's feeling lonely and lost, they can just come in the stream here and they've got someone to instantly talk to that's a real human being that's actually live. Do you know what I mean? It's not someone that, and they can actually speak to me straight away. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's a really incredible, like, special gift. Like, like, if I've ever seen someone on live streams and it's been some topic I've really been interested in, or like, I just wanted to learn something completely different that I hadn't learned before, if you can go in like live chat and actually talk to the presenter who's speaking and they answer your question, it feels to me like, you've got the cake. It's kind of like a birthday cake come true. It's like a dream. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, they spoke to me, because I've been on like some live streams, like random ones that I've never like thought I'd go on, and some of them have been really, really good. Well, one of them was about YouTube live streaming, actually, and it just came up on my feed, and I went in there and it was really good. They were like loads of expert YouTubers, and they were like 5 different people talking. And since then, I've subscribed to a few of those channels of the people that was presenting. And it was just really, really good. There was lots of vibrancy and energy. Eddie, my first social media, I kept hearing when I logged in that I have mail. Oh, the AOL days. Yeah, I didn't do anything with AOL. I'm too young for all this, Eddie. Too young. Yeah, I'm too young for all this stuff. But yeah, so it's very, very interesting. Very interesting. So I used to really love Twitter. I still like Twitter now, actually. I'm just not on there very much. I've got so many Twitter accounts. I've all got different passwords. I'm like a bit lost now which way to go. Plus I had to get rid of it on my old phone. I don't think I've got it back on my new phone, or if I have, it's limited because I don't remember my passwords. I can't find them, so I might have to change all the passwords at some point to get it up to date. But I'm mostly on Facebook and on YouTube. They're my two main things that I do all the time, and I'm always checking emails as well because I've got quite a lot of Gmails for different accounts. So yeah, I mean, obviously, if you want to stay connected with people, like there's different methods of communications: video chat, texting, Skyping, which is video chat but on Skype. Like I said, email. I think it's just really good that there's so many different forms of communication. Live streaming, it's really good. And I think when you're doing live stream, if you're doing live stream, it's good to connect with your audience. There's one guy on Facebook who's an entrepreneur type of guy, right? But the problem is when he does live streaming on Facebook, he's usually turned away from the camera quite a lot of times, or he's usually just not interested in engaging with the audience. Like I went on there the other day and he was literally picking his nose. I'm like, why do I, and playing video games. I'm like, why do I want to watch a guy who's picking his nose, playing video games and looking away from the camera? Why am I supposed to be, I did say hello to him because he's a nice person. I know he's got a nice personality, but from other videos, but I'm like, I saw you picking your nose. And it's like, and then it's like, he's in one of the other videos recently, one of the other posts in his Facebook, it's like, oh, I want to date. Looking for a woman to date, right? And I was thinking, well, I think you need to improve yourself and your communication with skills before you actually go on dating, because if you're looking away at the camera, you're picking your nose, you're not even interested in the people who's watching you, what are you going to be like in a relationship? You're not really going to be engaged with that person in communication. You're not going to be actively interested in them. They're going to feel that you're not paying them much attention or actively listening. So that's the thing that I learned about years ago with connecting with people with communication, right? You can actively listen to someone or you can passively listen to someone. So if, for example, you are going out or you are actually just Skyping someone, because obviously we can't go out and meet each other at the moment, but if you're Skyping someone, for example, say you're on a Skype date and you are just like, have a computer in front of you and it's to the side and you're just busy typing on the computer and then you're talking to this person. I mean, obviously, like you might be friends hanging out together and doing your own thing, because me and Sam were spending a lot of time together the other day and then we decided to do a bit of our own thing, but we're talking. So sometimes that can be good to hang out and do your own thing together when you understand each other. And you might just like be okay if they do things because you might be spending a long time talking to each other. But when you like, if you're doing like a romantic relationship type thing, you're getting to know someone like on a date and stuff, then you don't want to be like looking away at something else. It's like if you are doing live streaming stuff, you don't want to be looking away from your audience. It's just no engagement there. Do you see what I mean? And when I was reading Sam like what I was saying because I wanted some help on how it sounded in my messages and stuff like that. So I'm involving the other person still. Do you know what I mean? I mean, obviously, if you're a couple and you live together for a long time, there's going to be times when you are going to be doing your own thing. You're not going to be like sat there looking into each other's eyes 24/7. But I was thinking, when this guy's streaming on Facebook, and he's like, he's connecting for a short time with people. He's busy like going like video games like this, and like first of all he's picking his nose, and then he's going like, I mean, I'm not being funny, but as a female, like he's not interested in dating women. Why would I want to date someone like that? I mean, they do have a nice personality, but a nice personality in general is not going to cut it if you're trying to have a relationship with someone and they're busy picking their nose and playing video games and not even interested in you as a person. Like, why isn't he talking and getting to know people on camera, getting to know his audience and stuff, And what one person said, oh, I'm really surprised you haven't found your soulmate yet. And this other woman said, oh, they did, but they didn't communicate well, so the person went because of lack of communication. See? So I actually saw that he's got a lack of communication skills because he's not good at communicating effectively because he's looking away from his audience, not even engaging with them. He's just in his own little world and not talking to people. And And clearly he didn't even notice that. So I don't know if the other woman has actually been in a relationship with him or what, because she was saying, yeah, he was, but he did find his soulmate, but he couldn't communicate with them. So I know he's not very good at English though. So I used to do a lot of stuff on a social site called Netlog, made some friends, but that doesn't exist anymore. Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing I would say as well is if you really get on really well with someone, try and get another social media that you connect with them, like their phone, or even if they live in the same country, get their phone number. Just get their phone number, get their email address. So, like if I really like a guy and I'm just, for example, communicating with them on ASAP, I'll say, well, here's, like, let's connect on Facebook. Like, and if it's someone I really want to keep in touch with, I'll be like, here's my email address. So it's keep in touch. So you've always got another form of communication should you want to have that as a backup. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you're going to meet tons of people online that come into your life and that go anyway. It's just the way it is. But if you really, really like someone and you want to keep, obviously it's a two-way thing. You might want to keep in touch with them and they might not want to keep in touch with you and therefore never speak to you ever again or message you even again. That's the way it is sometimes, I mean, I'm kind of used to that, but nowadays I acquire Facebook and all email accounts. Yeah, I think that's really good, And obviously, if I live in the same country, I make sure I've got a phone number. So I've got your phone number, I've got Andy's phone number, Ray's phone number, actually, Debbie's phone number. All my close friends, best friends, and it's all good, So I have several Facebook friends I met through a Star Trek forum several years back. That's really good. See, you're very proactive, Sam. I like that. You're very proactive, But I think also if a person really likes you as well, they should be thinking about these things. Like the number of times I've said to guys, well, let's keep in touch with some other method. I'm thinking, why should I be saying this? They should be saying it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, obviously for me, I'm quite public. So, someone all someone has to do is basically Google me and they can usually find how to contact me somehow. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that difficult. So even in a YouTube channel, you can look at the you can look at the about bit, the section information. You can find you look at the connect with a person for contact, like media or whatever, but you just click that. It's got their email address usually, like how to contact this person, like reveal it. So that's on pretty much every YouTube channel if they've bothered to put that on there. So do you know what I mean? I kind of like, with me, it's kind of easy for people to connect with me, and find me online. It's not difficult, really. It doesn't take much. But it's good to like do all these things. It's good to have backups, especially at the moment, like if a social media went down, like how would you speak to those people if it's someone you really, really like, Because we shouldn't be relying completely on just one lot of social media or one just way of communicating with people. You need to have backups, because you never know what's going to happen. You shouldn't be giving everything to all your power to just one specific form of communication. It's better to keep multiple forms of communication open as much as possible. Obviously, this takes a lot of time and stuff, and not everyone does it. I mean, I've got a guy I've been friends with for years, who's on Facebook, and he is Indian. We've been friends for years, and he has always liked me more than a friend. But like I gave him my email and Skype, I haven't got anything else of his. So if he goes off Facebook, or if his account goes or anything like that, I won't be able to speak to him. But if I've given him my email and I've given him my Skype and he hasn't even bothered to return it, then it's like, okay, fine. Then you've been in my life got over 4 years, and if you go out of it, you go out of it, because at the end of the day, it's all about reciprocation as well. So you get to a point with people that you need reciprocation, which means feeling the same way back. And you're going to get people that just don't sometimes, because they don't want that type of close relationship with you. They're not bothered one way or the other, and maybe they'll regret it later on, maybe they won't, so it all depends, but it's good to have reciprocation. It's good, like if someone's messaging you, you message them back as well when you can. Like sometimes I don't have time to reply straight away because I'm just too busy. I mean, I do tend to reply a lot to people, but then I don't get work done. I get behind with my work. So, it's really important that you do look for reciprocation with you. So don't be like I used to be in the past, where it was kind of all me giving in a friendship and the other person not doing anything. It's very one-sided. You don't want that type of thing. So when you've got no friends very much, though, that's what does tend to happen. You tend to like scratch around for just scraps of friendship that you can just like have something. Because I've been there myself. So if you're in that situation now, I'd say, that's why you need to connect with more people. The more people you have in your life, the more greater chance you have of making deep emotional connections and bonds. I think, in your lifetime, I think really you probably count them on one or two hands, the deepest connection to have. But it's good to keep your options open, and it's good to connect with more people, so you've always got like backups and stuff. It's like my best female friend, she might move away eventually with her partner somewhere. She might leave the country. I might not see her apart from on video chat or something in the future. She's already told me about that. I've been friends with her since 2012. I have to accept that about her if that happens. I know she loves spending time with her friends, not just me. She's very, very, cares about her friends and kind of needs them in her life. So I think that would be very difficult. So she might just go traveling with her other half for like a lot of months at a time, or she might move. But I already know that. So if I'd only got her and I hadn't got anyone else as my friend, I'd be a bit like lost. So it's good to have a good number of friends if you can, just to have a backup in case something does happen. You can't foresee. I mean, how do I know that one of my friends isn't gonna like have someone come and like say, like marry me and whip them off somewhere? I don't. Do you know what I mean? Of course, it might be a bit sad in some ways, but I'd be happy for them as well. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. I mean, my best female friend, she don't live near me anymore. She still lives in the same country though, not a million miles away. But that was kind of hard at first, but I had to accept it, because she's happy with the guy she's with. She's got a really good guy now that she's always wanted. So sometimes you have to kind of like understand that people do go their separate ways. They do have their own lives. They do change. And when you're trying to contact and communicate with people and connect with people at the moment, you have to understand that not everyone is going to want to do that. And people are going to have their own lives going on. So the reality is, people at the moment, when I'm recording this live, some people have died from the coronavirus. Some people are dying from it. Some people have been seriously ill with it. Some people have got it and just recovering from it or just isolating from it. Thousands of people have gotten over it. Some people are having to some people, they've got no money coming in, so they're worried about that. Some people have they're doing whatever it takes to feed their kids because they haven't got the money to pay for food. Some people are starving in their own homes. Some people are socially completely cut off. They're not necessarily thinking, oh right, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to connect with like 20 people. I'm going to, what I mean? You have to understand that if you're connecting with people, you don't know what state of mind they're in. So sometimes if someone rejects you or they don't reply to you or they don't continue the conversation for some reason, it's usually a reflection of them and what's going on in their life, not necessarily you. Because I know some families and they've just got one breadwinner, like one of the members of the family is actually still going out to work and they've got like a spouse and they've got children and stuff like this. And it's like, that's what's on their mind. So if you're trying to message them and be friends with them and they got all this on their mind, it's not going to work. They're going to be like, I've got to put this as my priority. Make my family first, do this. So you have to understand that on social media, as awesome as it is, you do not know what someone's doing when you message them. They could be on the toilet, for example. They could be, if they're not asexual, they could be in the middle of having sex for all you know. Do you know what I mean? They might be, they might be actually helping a friend. They might be helping their elderly relative at the moment. They might be going shopping for them. I mean, I've got an entrepreneur friend and she's one of the trainers of my course actually. And she's like, her husband has had the coronavirus. He worked for the NHS. He's recovered from it. I don't think he's 100% fully better, but they've come out of isolation now. He's better. He's not like, I think he's better, like as in, not like contagious anymore. But I think he's still getting his energy back. But yeah. I mean, by the 8th day, he was going out playing badminton in the garden, but they were self-isolating for over 14 days, And so she's going out shopping now, but she had the training course she was doing stuff. She's got a partner in the training course. She's got a husband that's actual relationship partner. She's got kids. She was doing the cooking for them and everything. Do you know what I mean? That's a lot for someone to do. If someone's been, like sometimes I mean, she's been quite good at messaging me back, but I wouldn't blame her if she wasn't because she's got all that going on. Do you know what I mean? It's not, like I might want some, you've got to be careful that you don't want attention when someone else has got stuff going on in their life because they have to prioritize things. other things that are more urgent to them in their life. And you have to understand that. Sometimes you just pick the wrong moment, the wrong time. That I mean, you might pick the wrong person, but some people have got lots of things to worry about. They've got far worse things to worry about than some of us have, for example. And if they're busy focusing on other stuff, they haven't got time for you. It's not like because you're a bad person or they hate you or you should get upset. You should just think they've got a lot of shite going on in their life at the moment. They need to put themselves first, their family first. Some people aren't even getting any time to themselves. Do you know what I mean? There's people that haven't even got enough money to afford their rent. They're worried sick. There's all this type of stuff going on. So if you've got someone who's worried about sick about paying rent, they got kids or whatever, and then you're going on about, oh well, how was your day and blah blah blah, they're just probably thinking, oh my god, like I've got other things to worry about than idle chit chat. Do you know what I mean? Because they're not in that space in their life. So when you come on social media, you're like literally dropping into someone's life and you don't know where the hell they are in the world, what they're doing, what they're thinking, what they're feeling. So you have to understand that when you communicate with someone, it's not just the way you perceive the communication, it's the way they perceive it and the time and what it is. Like last night, or the night before now, I just had to cut off from a couple of hours because I just needed a break from social media, not because I don't care about people, but just because I had to have some time out for me, and that's okay. And sometimes there's time when I hadn't even eaten lunch yet, and I had to go and eat lunch because my blood sugar level gets, so I'm not looking after myself. So if someone's saying how am I when I'm in that state, it's like, well, I'm really hungry, my blood sugar level's going, and I'm not feeling a very happy mood. I need to go and get some food. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and I run my life backwards quite a lot. So I often work in the night and sleep in the day. And if someone's saying to me, for example, oh, how's your day been? I was saying you've worked. It's like, well, I haven't started work yet. I'm just beginning my day. So it's like, if someone says, oh, have an amazing, beautiful day today when I start my day, that's kind of like better for me because it's more positive energy, more positive energy, If someone says, oh, don't work too hard when I've actually not even just started work, it's better if they say to me stuff like, oh, well, oh, that's great. I hope you have a wonderful day, really productive. I love the work you do. It's really great. That type of thing, So you've got to think about the other person, what's going on in their life, where they're feeling good about what you're saying, where they're feeling positive, where they're feeling negative, where they're feeling negative about their own life, where they're feeling positive about their own life, if they're with other people, talking to other people. It's like, I was talking to my friend Sam today on the phone, but my friend Debbie was trying to get hold of me, and I had to text Debbie quickly while I was on saying I'm phoning Sam at the moment. So Debbie needed to wait. I said I'll be at least probably another hour, right? I mean, it was probably a little bit less than that, but I had to go in the shower anyway because she was doing video chat and I hadn't had a shower yet. So, but it's just the way it is. Sometimes people have to wait, or it's not the right circumstance. So you have to understand people work on all different time zones as well. So if I message certain people, they can't get back to me sometimes for 8 hours because they're asleep in their country. Do you know what I mean? And you get this with business as well. Sometimes there's a lot of people that do work in business in India, in Pakistan and places, and when you message them to get help, they're not available 24/7. They've got set times, and so I might have to wait till the next day to get my answer because they're not there. As it happens, most of the time that I'm awake doing business, the rest of the world's usually up at that time. So if I've got a business problem, usually Indian guys are up because I'm still doing my day when they start. So I'm still working in the night when they've just got up to go to work, or they've just started work or they've been in work a short time. So I caught them in work and can ask them my questions. So sometimes having a backwards life works out quite well, because I happen to be at the time that I need working at the time that I actually need help. Whereas if I was working my normal society hours and like till whatever, like, I don't know, 6 or whatever, or 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever people do, then, like I wouldn't catch them because they'd be asleep. So sometimes working backwards can help, but help your cause, or sometimes it doesn't. But you have to understand that people communicate in different ways. There's a lot of things to do with communication and connections to do with body language as well. You can read usually where someone's in a grumpy mood, someone's like looking the other way because they've got better things to do with their life, or they're not really interested. If you start video chatting with someone and you do it a few times and they're just looking away the whole time, they're clearly not interested. Don't bother giving them time of day again. Your time is precious, So you have to understand this. You've only got a limited amount of time. Your time is precious. So you're going to get to a stage in your life where you don't necessarily want to be connecting with everyone and anyone. I know that kind of sounds contradictory to what I just said, but it's not, because I'm saying if you're feeling lost, lonely, isolated, or you just want to reach out to other people that might be being isolated, maybe you spend like a few days a week doing this because you just want to help people, you want to get more friends, go and do that. But similarly, you don't want to be wasting your time and precious energy on people who are not going to give you something back, or who just can't give you something back at the moment because it's not the right time for them in their life. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you'll connect with them in a few months' time or years' time, and you might be better friends because they're in a better frame of mind, different type of life. I mean, even personal and professional development's a journey. So you might find someone who's not prepared to change, stuck in their ways, doesn't want to learn, and then all of a sudden you might meet up with them 3 years later and they're really into personal and professional development, really turned all their life around, really changed and everything like that. So people are at different stages in their life, and people communicate with people differently. Some people prefer video chat, some people prefer texting, some people prefer like emailing, some people don't like using all them, they just like using one specific method. And I've said to get out of your comfort zone, but you can't, some people won't get out their comfort zones. Some people like the specific way they've been used to doing things, and that's all you'll get from them, and you're not going to change them. So it depends where you can persuade them to do, a different type of video chat or different type of communication, or whether, you just have to accept that that's the way they are and what they like and their specific preference. So always when you're connecting with someone and communicating with them, realize that the communication, the connection is a two-way thing, and that you can't have it all your way all the time. The other person also has to have things their way, and they've also got their own life. I mean, we learn this like when you learn about Facebook advertising, for example, you learn that you're doing a Facebook ad, but you are literally dropping into someone's life. They could be on the toilet, they could be in a conference, they could be on a train, they could be on a plane. I mean, obviously at the moment they can't because planes and stuff have stopped and a lot of trains aren't going. But do you know what I'm saying? You're dropping into someone's life. You do not know what's going on in their point in their life at that specific time that ad, for example, drops in. So when you message them, you don't know what they're doing in their life when you've messaged them. They could be stuck. I mean, I've been in really, like sometimes in the past, I remember I've been up ladders and someone's messaged me. That's why I usually don't bother taking my phone or having my phone. I usually have it switched off a lot of the time when we're working now. But, I've been up ladder before, and I'm like, who's that? And it's like, and I've done some weird things while I've been trying to message people back. I've been doing like a lot of the time, like I do food shopping, and I'm like, I'm like trying to find something to eat, and I'm like messaging someone back. I'm like, where's the fruit? Where's the fruit? Then where's the potatoes? And I'm messaging someone back, and I'm like, they're talking to me about something that's got nothing to do with what I'm doing in the supermarket at that time, because they don't even know I'm in the supermarket a lot of the time. And then I'm trying to find something else, and it's like, and then you might get a customer that goes in front of you, and you're like, oh, sorry, and that type of thing. Then you're trying to find something you can't find. You've got to ask an assistant. You still got this person texting you about their life, their day, or whatever they're doing. And you're like having two completely separate lives running simultaneous connection conversations, which like really don't add up, and sometimes it's not actually appropriate for you to message back, if it's a dangerous situation. If you're, for example, I don't know, say you're putting some equipment up, right? And you get someone messaging you, but you're holding the equipment, it's got to be pegged down or something. And if you let it go, a pole or something's smacking someone's face. Do you know what I mean? That's not appropriate to answer a message then. So you always have to be thinking that when you're trying to connect and communicate with someone, you have to be thinking about the other person might not be in a position to be able to do that straight away. There's nothing to do with you. It's not a problem to do with you. It's the fact that stuff is going on in their own life. Like some people are okay 1 minute in this world, aren't they? And the next minute they might have the virus. That's how unpredictable this thing is, right? So you don't know what's going on in life. You might have seen them yesterday, and then, well, you're not going to see them in person usually, are you? Unless they're your neighbour and you've waved at them. But you might have seen them on Skype or something, and the next day it might be a completely different day, because no 2 days in the same. We never know what's going to happen. That's why it's best to be prepared, treat your loved ones with care and respect. Reach out to people who you think need you and can benefit from your time, and who you can give time to. But also, please remember to give time to yourself and connect with yourself and your soul and what lights you up and what fuels your passion and your dreams and your goals and your ambitions and your mission. Don't forget to do all those hobbies and literally, connect with your mind, soul and physical being. So, make sure like you're doing some exercises each day and connect with your body. Make sure, like if you've got body issues, like, work through them, like learn to love yourself, learn to love your body in the mirror and stuff like this, just do something to be kind to yourself. And if you like hot showers, I love hot showers, I just love it, makes me feel so good, simple thing like that, that's a physical thing as well. The water coming down on the body is a physical thing, and then emotional wise, you might just need to do some meditation or something to get your frame of mind, like your emotions feeling better and positive, or watch positive motivational videos, that type of thing. And then soul, you might have a life purpose and mission, and maybe you can't do that right now because you're like stuck indoors and your life mission's more out of doors. But then it gives you the perfect opportunity to think, how can I make my life mission something I can do within my own home? How can I reach out to more people from my own home? Or how can I plan now for in 3 to 6 months time? What courses can I do to live my life mission that's online that can give me more skills? Because that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm skilling up. I've got stuff that I need to finish, like the Asexual Guide to Sex Book and publish, and I'm skilling up before I launch my other new businesses, right? I'm calling skilling it up, because I'm learning new skills and developing and growing myself. So, like you have to kind of think as well, if things are dying off and stuff, some things, you need to be growing. We need to be in the growth mindset, because we don't want to be in the dying mindset. We want to be growth mindset. And that doesn't just mean physically dying. It means dying in your mind, dying in your soul, because you're not taking care of yourself. You're not taking this opportunity to reconnect with your inner being, your soul, and really get to know yourself and love yourself. Do you see what I mean? So, one of the entrepreneurs I'm connected to, I watch a lot of their stuff. I'm in his group, on Facebook. It's like, if you're not learning, you're dying, because you're not developing, growing yourself. Your life is stagnant, and as human beings, we need stimulation. We need to be growing and growth and not stagnating, because it's no good for us. It's unhealthy. So we basically, need to make sure we're filling our own cup up. We're developing and growing ourselves, which is good for our souls. This is when the hobbies and the interests come in. This is when the online courses and online conferences and seminars come in. This is when you read up books. If you haven't got much money, books are hugely powerful. So I love physical books still. There's nothing better to me than holding a physical book in my hand and going through it and marking off different pages and stuff. I really love doing that still. Books are very insightful. You can be, getting knowledge, and you can connect with yourself. It's a passion that you haven't learned much about for a while, or you haven't learned new skills in it. Go and learn up. It's really, really good. Which reminds me of a Ray. Yeah, there was a video I saw on someone's page, and they had a dog that was balancing stuff on its head. I wasn't sure what to make of that, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's trained its dog. It had over 1 million views. 1 million views. I'm like, my God, this dog was like balancing crisps on its nose and stuff like that. But you never know what they're doing with camera trickery. Do you know what I mean? And like, is a dog really doing that? But it's very interesting, isn't it? So anyway, yes, I hope that's answered this questions with all the connecting with people, like friendships and relationships, and connecting with yourself, all the questions you might have about how do you do that, what do you actually mean by it. I hope you understand how powerful it is to be connected to other people, to stay connected to other people, to reach out, connect with new people, but to also understand that you might drop into someone's life at a very not very good timing for them. So always understand and connect with yourself as well, especially in this time. We need to be growing, not dying, but growing our brains, growing our soul, growing our life, staying on point, staying on your mission, taking control of your life, focusing and staying focused. Like, I am so busy at the moment. I've got 3 new businesses to launch and my Asexual Guide to Sex book to publish between now and September. That's what I want to do all. It's a lot of work, right? A lot of work. This is my goal anyway, and I've got other stuff probably that I think is just I've got other stuff going on that I need to finish, and that's just dropping into my life as well. Sometimes some things or some people drop into your life at actually the right moment, but you didn't know it was the right moment. So this virus has dropped into our life at a moment that we didn't want it. We'll never want it, right? But some people will grow and develop into a better person, or skill up, or learned something they didn't know before because of the virus situation. So there is some positives to take, right? Obviously, you know, it's difficult because, you know, like some people aren't here anymore, so that's quite hard. But we can't change that. All we can do is change our own life and focus on the people that are dear to us, and, you know, skilling up and making sure that we fill our own cup up, so that when all this is over, we're in a much better, stronger position to come out of it and go back to whatever will be the normal type of life then. But, you know, just create normality within your own life, how you like it. If it's quirky normality, if it's far out normality, you know, normal is overrated. It's whatever you make it. You know what I mean? I hope that's been useful, helpful, insightful. If it has, I really appreciate a thumbs up. I know I've already got some thumbs up, so I really love you loads. I have to say that I'm really grateful and thankful for being able to connect with you and communicate with you here on YouTube, and that you've given some of your precious time up. Some of you a very long time to be with me tonight on the stream, because time is the most precious thing we can give someone, because we haven't got an infinite amount of time. We've only got a certain time that we're on this planet Earth for, yeah? And if you give your time to someone, it's actually very, very precious. So if someone does reach out with you and connect with you, you know, when it's convenient, when it's right for you to get back to them, you know, then do, you know, do it, you know. And if there's anyone that communicates with you you don't like, you know, just end it sooner rather than later, so they can find someone more suitable to communicate with them, and you can find someone to communicate more suitable to communicate with you. Because when you reach out to people, some people won't be your tribe, they won't be like-minded, they won't be the right person for you to connect with, and you don't want to waste your precious time on those. So it's important to understand that some people are completely opposite to each other. Some people just don't, you know, they're not meant to be in ongoing communication with each other because they're not right for each other. They're not a right fit friendship or acquaintance even. They're just opposite, and that's fine to just acknowledge that and say that's fine. You know, come into life, opportunities there, you took it, didn't work out, off you go, you know. So that's fine as well. You know, everything is fine. Everything happens for a reason. Everything is going to be good. I love you lots so much. Thank you for connecting, communicating. Thanks for your time. I want to say a big, big thank you to everyone that's been in the stream tonight. I know there's been quite a few of you. I want to say a big, lots of love to Ray. Happy birthday again. I want to say lots of love to Sam, who's amazing best friend. Thank you so much, Eddie, who's awesome. And Mohammed Al Badri. Thank you very much. Lots of love to you too. So I hope you found this video helpful and insightful. And like I said, please give it a thumbs up if you have. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, posting a video. I love you lots. It's so awesome to see you. And thanks, Sam. Take care, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Lots of love. Bye.